Good morning, everybody. This is Jessica and Angel here with your weekly Ask DataCorps live web show. We are super excited to see you all here. I'm already here taking notes and checking up and seeing how everybody's doing. Angel, what do we got this week?
We're talking bad Wi-Fi this week.
Bad Wi-Fi.
Bad Wi-Fi.
Like not the kind from Doctor Who, not that bad.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not that nerdy.
All right. What do we got?
All right. So a lot of times we get calls from clients or from prospects that their computers are slow, their internet's dragging, they're just frustrated because they can't figure out why. So when we start digging into it, often what we find is that they're suffering from bad Wi-Fi. And I don't want this to happen to you. I care. I love you. I don't want this to happen to you. So don't suffer from bad Wi-Fi.
Your business is too important to be dragged down by every transaction that you process taking, 10 minutes with somebody standing on the other side of the counter
Absolutely.
tapping.
Absolutely. What's more important, for you to be able to process a credit card quickly, or for somebody to, finish watching a Doctor Who episode on Netflix?
I don't know. Doctor Who's very important, but probably not as important as first rate CSE.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with a lot of cloud apps and whatnot these days, we want to make sure that your internet access is fast. And again, I don't want you to suffer from bad Wi-Fi. It's not only frustrating, it's also just poor business practice all around. It can really affect your business. It can slow your productivity down to a crawl, and ultimately it's going to cost you money.
Well, that's the bottom line.
That's right.
The bottom line is the bottom line.
That's right.
So in your travels, helping people around the Tampa Bay area with all their technology needs, I think Angel's tagline, which I think is the best tagline, is that he's the digital hero.
Superhero.
I like that.
I think. Is that what we wrote on there? Digital superhero?
Yeah, I like that. So in your travels around being digital superhero to Tampa Bay, have we encountered issues with this in the past?
We have encountered bad Wi-Fi. One of the worst cases I found was at a client of ours, and we regularly go around and kind of audit what's on the network and whatnot. And what we found here was that they had hired a security company to come in and install security cameras. And so they had called us and asked us, hey, can we put cameras on the network? And we said, sure, here's the parameters, here's what you do. So when we came back afterwards to audit the network, what we found was that they put an open Wi-Fi access point on the network. Wide open, no password.
No password on your security camera.
Correct, no password whatsoever. So anything and anyone could connect. And so when we saw that, what ended up happening was anybody could just connect to their network and could basically be a bandwidth leech, or much worse.
Wow. And I manage the blog for us, so I do a lot of research and come a lot around a lot of these articles and things, and I'm reading about this kind of stuff where security cameras, and the other day I read one about a smart car, anything that you have that connects with the internet leaves you vulnerable, and a lot of times it's not even password protected or secure in any way.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
A lot of these devices, and we call them the Internet of Things because, basically everything's now starting to become a part of the internet. So the Internet of Things devices, they generally don't go under the same amount of scrutiny as, let's say a Windows computer or a Mac computer for security and for updates. And so also a lot of these things have open, I won't call them quite back doors, but they'll have open doors that anybody can log in and sign on to, and then ultimately take control of the device or use it to launch an attack. So I don't want your business to be used by one of these devices to be either attacked or to launch another attack.
Well, let's back up for a second, though. Okay, I am going around with my phone, and my universe is on my phone because it's 2017, and I'm working or banking or shopping or talking to my grandma on Facebook, whatever it is, and I've got something that cannot wait, but I'm sitting in the doctor's office waiting on something to happen, and all they have in their office is an unsecured Wi-Fi network. I've got time to kill. I've got a phone. Can I just connect to their unsecure Wi-Fi network in the doctor's office? I mean,
sure you can. One of the problems with doing that, though, is that if you can connect to it, so can an attacker.
Okay.
And there are many ways that an attack can be launched on a phone like that. One of the ways is called a man-in-the-middle attack, where we can hand a fake IP address to that phone, and then in a way, not to get too technical, but stand in the middle and watch everything that happens between the phone and the website you're trying to access.
So now, any personal information I would enter, credit cards, PayPal, anything like that?
Now, this can be a sophisticated attack, especially if you're launching the attack on HTTPS, secure websites. Then you have to have the ability to spoof the digital certificate or thumbprint that authenticates that website. It's not impossible, but it's incredibly difficult. However, when you're using non-secure websites, it's often very likely that that attack can be launched easily. So that's why I always recommend people, if you're in a business, have a VPN handy, one that connects back to your office and kind of shrouds your entire internet browsing inside of a tunnel.
Back up.
Whoa, hello.
What's a VPN?
VPN, virtual private network.
Okay.
It's like having a cable right back to your office from anywhere in the world.
Cool.
Yeah, right over the internet.
Okay, that's cool.
Right over the tubes that make up the internet.
Yeah, 2017. I like it. Okay. So then getting down into the meat, since we've decided that just connecting to a random unsecure Wi-Fi is possibly dangerous.
It's also bad Wi-Fi.
It's also bad Wi-Fi.
That's right. Bad Wi-Fi practice.
Ah, bad Wi-Fi. There's rules now. There's rules. Okay.
Oh, there's always been rules.
I can't keep up. 2017 stressing anybody out this morning? Maybe it's just because it's the first Monday after spring break. I don't know.
Yeah, and gotta have more coffee.
What? Okay, but so don't just connect to the unsecured Wi-Fi if you're sitting around waiting on your car to get work done or whatever. But more importantly, in a business context, because that's what most of our folks are here for, should they let their staff log on to their business Wi-Fi?
Sure. We actually see this often where when we come into a client, to a new client, they'll have just one wireless network.
Okay.
And what happens is, so let me give you this example. Okay. Let's say you just traveled to some tropical country and
Fun.
Absolutely, you had a great time.
I love that.
And you come back and you know you've been maybe stung by a bunch of mosquitoes, but you're just not sure. So,
okay.
Absolutely.
I'm rolling with you.
All right. So you come back to your office and let's just say that you did catch something and now you're walking around and sneezing and infecting everybody with it.
Okay.
So to follow that analogy, every time a device leaves your network, if you've got a great IT guy, you probably got a really good secure network in your office. So every time a device leaves the network, you're leaving that cloud of protection. You're leaving that umbrella that protects you from everything that's bad out there.
No mosquito net.
So no mosquito net. So then what we want to do is we want to make sure that either we isolate devices that leave that network.
Okay.
Or so we completely separate them, or we just simply don't allow them into the network. So what we find is that a lot of clients and prospects, or rather really prospects, because we work very hard to get all of our clients who do have that need to get on a separate access point or a separate network. We go into our prospects and we set up an alternative network for their employees to log on to, and sometimes even for traveling laptops to log on to. What that allows us to do is it allows us to create a separate network that's shielded from the rest of the network, where we can apply extra security rules, extra firewall rules, extra whatever protection is needed. And that way we can isolate it, or to go back to the health theme or to the health comparison, to quarantine it from the rest of the network where it can operate. We can watch it operate. It can do whatever it needs to do, but it's still being very carefully monitored. So what we like to do is to set up that separate network so that employees, if they need to get on Wi-Fi for whatever reason, they can get on a separate Wi-Fi network, and it's done so securely.
Okay. So this is not employees who are coming into your place of business and using their desktop computer that they use every day to do their job. This is employees who are coming in with mobile phones or iPads or laptops or whatever in order to do something theoretically work-related, right?
Well, they're going to get on Facebook and all that stuff too anyway. So what with Sometimes you can't get cell phone signal or whatnot, and depending on the type of workplace that you offer, you may want to offer that as a benefit to employees to be able to connect on Wi-Fi during social hour or during lunch hour or whatnot. So we'll provide a nice, secure way to do that so that it doesn't compromise your internal network. Now, if you were to come to our office and do that, you would see that we would have two separate networks. So I'm going to show you this just on my iPhone real quick. You see, there we go. You see private. And you see public. See that right there? Trying. There we go.
You can. It's coming through right next.
All right, cool. Yeah. All right. So we got public and private, and the private network, we guard that like a hawk. And we're a little bit extra paranoid about it. The public network, that's what we allow our guests to come in and connect to. Okay. That's what we connect some devices that we may not trust or whatnot. If a vendor wants to come in and do a presentation, they connect to that network. And it's also encrypted, so it has a key. Okay. And we display that key in the office. We don't display it outside the office, but we do it inside the office for convenience. But we can always change that key. Yeah. And when we change that key, it actually ends up booting anybody that's not authorized off of that network.
That's perfect. All right. So in terms of what devices are safe, give me a quick rundown of what devices belong on an unsecured network and which belong on the private network. Okay.
So private network devices are anything that doesn't leave the office.
Okay. Perfect.
And I know that seems like a little bit of overkill, but again, let's look back at that quarantine example that I gave you. We don't know what happens to a device when it leaves the office. We don't know what it's touched. We don't know what's on it. We don't know what's been put on it. You may think you have the cleanest network, but all it takes is somebody else to bring in something to a different network, infect your device, and carry it in. And that's actually what we saw in the Target breach a few years ago when Target got hacked. Ultimately, what happened there was the HVAC company, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning company, had a virus infect their network through a vendor. And then that virus jumped onto internet cooties. Yep. Yes, absolutely. So that virus jumped onto a technician's laptop. And then when the technician went into Target to work on their HVAC system, again, because everything's connected these days, and the Internet of Things and all that stuff we talked about earlier. So once they connected into the Target network, Target didn't have a proper separation between the two networks, and the virus continued to proliferate across their system. So that's what I know you're not, if you're watching this, you're probably not the size of Target. But look, if Target's 300 plus IT people could miss it, what chance do small businesses have?
Well, I mean, you let in at the beginning of the broadcast talking about a specific small business right here that we've actually helped with this kind of thing.
Absolutely,
so this is important, right?
Absolutely, and going along that bad Wi-Fi theme, we had another client who traveled to Europe, and while in Europe, he connected to public Wi-Fi. And he picked up internet cooties. And when he came back here, he brought that internet cooties into his office. Ouch. And then that internet cooties turned into an encrypting virus that encrypted his hard drives. So that's what I mean by, you want to keep that sterile network, and then you want to keep the network that's...
So when we're talking about our Internet of Things, our security cameras or any of that other stuff that's not...
Yeah, thermostats, security cameras.
Which network
if you're Kellyanne Conway, your microwave.
Oh, man. Oh, man. He went there, y'all.
I went there.
He went there. It's Monday. No, which network do those devices belong on? Do they belong on the private network? Do they belong on the public network?
We could probably even create a third network, and severely limit what those devices can access. You can limit those devices to only access the websites and internet servers that they need to access. So we can create a third network, or we could even create one network for each device. Wow. Again, it seems like overkill, but I don't want you to become a victim. We recently heard of another local company that was used to scam another company out of $24,000. So
and both parties are innocent here. It's just
both parties are victims, but what are you going to do? So again, I care. I hate hearing those stories. They break my heart, and I want to keep you from becoming one of those stories.
Absolutely. All right. So what can people go do right now to make sure that their network is more secure than it was when they started this broadcast?
Sure. So you saw me show my iPhone earlier with the extra networks in there. So the first thing you want to do is you want to, if you want to pull out your phone right now and just see if you have a guest and a private network. And if you don't, then get started by creating one. That's an easy thing you can do in your office. And then the next thing is,
if they don't know how to do that?
If they don't know how to do that, call us. We can do that all day long for you.
Easy.
Super easy. So we'll get that done for you if you need help doing that. But create that separate network, and then start thinking about how, if you have laptops that leave the network and come back in, then think about how you're going to protect those laptops. And a lot of times when we talk about security and Wi-Fi and all these things, I get a lot of kickback from clients because it's not convenient. So security and convenience don't really go hand in hand. Think about your home, okay? Sure. Is it convenient to lock the door? No. Is it convenient to arm an alarm? No. But we do those things because we want to protect those that we love. And in the same way, we need to take a few extra steps, maybe slow things down a little bit before we want to do that. Now, we did just get a question. What about employees that work from home?
We'll answer that question, but right now, make sure you look at your private network, you look at your password protected network, change the password right now. Yeah. Because I'm betting, just like the batteries in your fire detector that you haven't changed since 12 years ago when it was beeping at you at midnight, you've not changed that password lately either. So right now, stop, change your password. 2 minutes and your network is already more secure than it was when you started this broadcast.
And why is that?
Change your password. Because it's going to boot off everybody who may have had access from the one time they visited you 6 months ago, and your iPhone. Just remember, when you enter an internet password, your phone or whatever, it just remembers it. You don't remember it, but your phone does. Sometimes I've gone into businesses that I forgot I'd ever even been to, and I'm like, oh, look, my Wi-Fi is automatically connected because my phone doesn't forget that I've been there.
Right.
So right this minute, change your password, boot everybody off that you don't want there. 2 minutes to a more secure network, fast and easy.
And you will be everybody's best friend when you boot them off the network.
Hey, it's okay. We have a cute little sign that our admin made that hangs right here in this conference room and out in our lobby that says, this is our Wi-Fi. This is the password for it. If you're a Pinteresty kind of person, it was downloaded off Pinterest and done real quick. If you're not a Pinteresty kind of person, a Post-it note will accomplish the exact same goal. Super fast, super easy, but security is not supposed to be convenient, right? Nope. And we want to keep you secure. Change your password right now, 2 minutes to a more secure network. But we do have a question, and it's a good one, so we'll put it up here.
So what about employees that work from home?
Yeah.
So that becomes a greater challenge. What we want to do is, number one, I generally believe, and again, you're going to find people all over the industry that are going to disagree with me, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But I am a firm believer that every employee should have a company-owned computer asset. And one of the main reasons behind that is that the type of security you want to apply to that device, I wouldn't want to apply to my personal laptop. Okay, it can be very restrictive. It can be very inconvenient. Remember, we talked about security being inconvenient. It can be intrusive. So a lot of times, the same types of security that we have to apply to protect a corporate network can also yield to I don't want to say a violation of privacy, but it can seem intrusive, and it can often, lead, a network admin will have full access to that computer. You have to have that kind of access in order to be able to properly secure it. So, so when you work from home, I think that needs to happen from a company-owned asset that can be properly secured. And then again, there are ways to create a private network between that device and the corporate network, and again, treat it the same way. If it's a desktop, that desktop, if it ever leaves that private secured network, then it needs to be evaluated and it needs to be monitored. And if it's a laptop, then there's also ways we can prevent laptops from connecting to unauthorized networks. So we can keep the convenience of wireless, but also control the networks that it can connect to.
And if you, like me, have absolutely no idea how to do any of this, this
is
the guy to call.
You're starting to get into a more advanced level of security, where, a lot of times, you find that you can do a lot of these, Office 365 and things on your own. Just go on a website, sign up for it. But when you start looking at, how to actually secure a network, you do need a professional to analyze the situation, because again, not everybody is made the same. Not every business is made the same. Your business is unique. It has unique needs. It has unique applications. It has unique ways it uses them. So you really should talk to a professional, an IT professional, who can assess those needs and come up with the great or the proper strategy to keep that secure. So that was a great question about employees working from home.
All right. So that's all we've got for you today. Thanks for tuning in. I want you to remember, right now, change your password. As soon as you're done with this broadcast, change your password. If you have more than one network, change all your passwords. One time, nice secure network, 2 minutes, not that big a deal. And I also want you to please comment below with your nightmare stories or your success stories about times you connected to unsecure Wi-Fi or your employees, and give us your success stories too. If you take our advice, change your password, something great happens, let us know. The cool thing about this, though, is you may never know what you saved yourself from with those 2 minutes.
Absolutely.
It may be a problem that you averted, that you didn't even know you had, and the headache is gone without you even knowing that you had it. Mm-hmm. So let us know, though. Give us some feedback. Tell us some stories. Let us know what you want to hear about next week.
Yeah,
we are excited to talk to you every week, and we will see you soon. Bye, everybody.
See ya.